let me talk about the next Batman arc that I read. I only read one this time. It's been a busy week, and I was watching, watching some of the MonsterVerse stuff. So I didn't get to Batman Faces yet. I've been going through the Legends of the Dark Knight from its first run, by Denny O'Neil, Shaman, and I've gone through and I've talked about every collected edition thus far, even Faith and Flyer, which to my knowledge they didn't collect in a graphic novel. I might have seen one like in a foreign language or something that connects both of them. I don't know. Next up, though, in Legends of the Dark Knight was issue 27. And issue 27 is actually part of a crossover, a three-part crossover from Batman and Detective Comics. So this is not an arc in the setting of Legends of the Dark Knight. Legends of the Dark Knight, most of those stories take place early on in Batman's career. These are this is a story that would have been more contemporary with the time that DC was writing Batman in terms of the Batman comic and Detective Comics. So the first issue was in Batman Comics, and then the second one was in Legends of the Dark Knight, and then the third one wrapped up in Detective Comics, I believe. Yeah. Great writers on all of these. The first one was Alan Grant and Norm Brayfogle. So you got Norm Brayfogle drawing Batman. I'm there for it. I don't care what it is. He's freaking amazing. And you can tell that Brayfogle art. I love Norm Brayfogle's Batman. Probably it's hard to say anybody's your one favorite Batman artist. There have been so many brilliant ones, but hey, look at that Batmobile. That's just good stuff. Good stuff. What I love about this three-part issue, though, is the story's really solid. Somebody really planned this out well, because you've got one thing I love about reading the actual old issues, when you get the old issues instead of the graphic novels, is all of the ads. I mean, this takes me back. What a time. There's an ad for Wayne's World that was coming out that June. Like, oh man, that was a golden time. What a time to be alive. So I love that kind of stuff. But as you see here, the all of these comics have, all these covers have Batman swinging over like sort of sketches of the city. Now, the basic story, the Alan Grant and Norm Brayfogle, the one from Legends of the Dark Knight is Denny O'Neil. And who was the artist here? Denny O'Neil. I can't quite see in this light. But Legends of the Dark Knight, Denny O'Neil. And then Detective Comics was Alan Grant with Jim Aparo. So great art in all of these. The story, and you find this out in the first few issues of the chapter. And if you want to know where you can get this, first just look up Batman Destroyer arc, the Destroyer arc, and it's a three-part. It starts in Batman 474, Legends of the Dark Knight number 27, and it wraps up in Detective Comics 641. Destroyer is the name of the arc, and you find out in the first three issues of the story that there's somebody blowing up buildings in Gotham City, but they're only blowing up the new buildings, the new, more modern style buildings. And Batman quickly deduces in the first few pages that it's an aesthetic issue. This is someone who knows what they're doing. They're exploding these buildings so they topple in on themselves. It's like a professional demolitions person, or someone who's been trained in professional demolitions. And the idea is that the person, I won't give you all the details, but the person behind it wants Gotham to return to its cityscape of Cyrus Pinckney's original plans for the city. And if you know the Gotham lore, it was kind of founded and run by Judge Solomon Wayne, Bruce Wayne's great-grandfather or great-grandfather. Great-great-grandfather it would be, I guess. And Cyrus Pinckney was the little architect, the nerdy little architect. If you played Arkham Origins, you know that you just had to solve the mystery of Cyrus Pinckney's death back in the day. So he had all these sketches, and he wanted Gotham City to be a Gothic architecture place. And he had some spiritual reasons for that. Like gargoyles are supposed to scare away the evil, or, like on ancient cathedrals and whatnot. It's kind of that reasoning. If we have this Gothic architecture, it works with some sort of spiritual pulse for the city to keep out evil, or maybe is it keeping evil in, as they think, later. So, Cyrus Pinckney, part of Batman lore. But the cool thing about this series, Destroyer, is that they base all of Cyrus Pinckney's sketches. They based them on Anton Furst's art direction for the first Batman movie, 89. And as you can see in this issue of Legends of the Dark Knight, bonus feature, Gotham City Visions by Anton Furst. They've got in the back some of the sketches that he made for the Batman 89 movie. And they're treating it in the comic as though these are Cyrus Pinckney's sketches, of his designs for the original city and stuff like that. So really, really cool idea if you love, and even people who maybe didn't like so much the Batman Burton films, that aesthetic nailed it. And nobody's really done that since. Matt Reeves maybe tried to do it a little bit, but nowhere to the extent that Burton and First did with those first two films. The Nolan films just treated Gotham City like it was just Chicago. It was just a new city, and of course Zack Snyder did the same. It was just a city like any other city. But the Burton films were the ones to really give us that Gothic architecture, just like Superman Returns has been the only city or film to really give us Metropolis as an Art Nouveau decorated city. So that was really great. I'm glad that the comics actually paid homage to that, to the effect where they really kind of incorporate Anton Furst's visions for the city into the continuity of the city in the comics. Obviously, they didn't stick with that forever. Depends on which writer you're looking at and everything. But I do highly recommend this arc. It's a good one. Batman's got a great arc in it himself. Really good detective work. And again, it's Batman Destroyer. Starts in Batman, goes to issue 27, Legends of the Dark Knight. And then, of course, Detective Comics. Where's my Detective Comics? There it is. Detective Comics 641 there. Is that it? Yeah. So this is good. So yeah, now, again, that way I did that arc because it was issue 27 of Legends of the Dark Knight. Next week, I'll review Batman Faces, which is a 3-issue arc that the great Matt Wagner did. So they'll be talking about that, which is really good. I'm kind of halfway through it, and I was going to plow through it so I could do a review of that as well. But I thought, no, let me just enjoy this. I want to enjoy it. I want to give more of a review that breathes a bit. Guyvart says, yeah, I wish the newest Batman movies today would have stuck with the more gothic look for Gotham City. Say what you want about Schumacher movies, but at least the Gotham had character. It did. It was more cartoony than gothic, but at least it was closer to it than, say, the Nolan films were in terms of set design, Sound Engraver says, Future of Gotham Fair in the Mask of the Phantasm. Yeah. Does that art and architecture follow? So yeah, I mean, because the animated series was so inspired by those Burton films. The look of it, the music, very much so. Saktan says, beauty in architecture and cleanliness can instill some sense of sacredness in people. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it comes from a real thing. Like if you look at the reasons for the architecture of the classic cathedrals, it's really trying to give a sense of reaching up to heaven, with the stained glass windows and the buttresses and the columns and everything. I mean, yeah, there's symbolism in all of those old buildings in it. And today, what do we have? We just have these utilitarian cubes, which is such a pain in the butt. It's horrible to see what we've lost. At the same time, you can't mass produce wonderful works of art as quickly as people may need them and whatnot. But there's really been a lot lost in architecture and in art for that reason, definitely.